Hello and welcome to the Big Bank Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm not here with my friend and colleague Dan. He's elsewhere, somewhere up the line. Hello, Dan.
Yeah, I am here,
You
but
are?
I'm here and not there.
Yeah. You don't want to be here. You'd rather be there because of,
Yep.
social isolation.
Yeah, so is that a thing? Social distancing in it or self-isolation?
Oh, yeah. I was thinking of, I love those pictures of, or when people go on Xweb and they say, remember that game, Scarborough away, 84? And we had one away supporter. That was me. I love that. That's the original kind of social isolation.
Yeah,
So we're going
we're
for
a bit
that a
better at
bit.
that these days.
Yeah, no, indeed so.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here. The season's still in some kind of limbo.
Yeah, no movement on that, is there?
No movement at all. The Premier League suggestion, you heard this? That they're going to do it all on two pitches. This is the latest.
I heard something about this, yeah, like a weird sort of, it sounds like a bit like a six-a-side summer tournament when you're doing Sunday League. At the end of the season, they do a little six-a-side competition.
Yeah, down Cully Rangers, 6-a-side. You have to play 4
Yeah,
games an hour.
Ladysmith or something like that.
What was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. 4 games an hour. You get 3 minutes to
Yeah.
get to your next pitch, which is half a mile away. So
Did a few of them with old Ricey. I've said before about my
Martin
five-a-side
Rice.
team with Martin Rice. Yeah,
That's
but
good. No one successful ever came out. Oh, that's not true. Richard Pears came out of Columpton, but he was a bit older than me, so I
I
never
remember him.
never played against him.
He had a cracking set of curtains.
He did. So did his brother, who I did know.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to the Pears boys in Cully.
Shout out to the pair.
Oh yeah, Rick Ross, outstanding.
Little Rick Ross reference.
It's good. So listeners, we've been taking your suggestions. We've been given our own suggestions. I think I'm calling this the trilogy. We're going to go for a trilogy of things.
Okay.
I haven't gone through this. You probably with you, Dan, but I think next time maybe we'll talk about our successful promotion from the conference, and then maybe the time after
Yep.
that, our successful follow-on promotion to League One. But today, I think
Okay.
we're going to talk about our unsuccessful playoff final at Wembley. These things all followed 3 years in a row, didn't it? It's mad to think about now, but they were 3 years. Those 3 different things happened.
Yeah. So this is back in 2007.
That's right. So it was the 2006-2007 season. And let me paint a
Now,
picture. Oh, go on.
well, I've just got a couple of things to just prefix this with.
Yep.
Number one, last week or whenever it was, last time we did this, I said Ryan Harley had played 90 minutes in all 4 of our playoff finals.
Yeah, of course.
That's not true.
You
He
didn't.
didn't even play for Exeter at this point. So he did not play in this one.
No.
The other thing I wanted to point out before you go on is I wasn't there.
Okay.
This was during a kind of period of my life where I wasn't really attending Exeter City as frequently as I maybe am now.
No. Okay.
Just doing other things, I had a girlfriend. I think I was being in a band, and I didn't think there was enough room in my life for football at that point, and I was wrong, because there's always room.
And
I wasn't there.
as we're seeing with this whole episode now, once football's out, what's left?
Yeah, well, I know.
So you weren't there. You were one of the few people that wasn't there.
Yeah, because there was like 30,000 Exeter fans, right?
There was. So let's paint the picture a bit. So
Paint it for me, like Bob Ross.
I will. So end of the season before 2005-2006, Alex Inglethorpe had been in charge. He goes, and
Yep.
of course Inglethorpe, he wasn't the world's greatest manager, but as we've seen from what he's done since, he obviously knew what he was doing about loads of stuff.
Yeah.
And
And he was a nice bloke,
he
wasn't
was
he?
a nice bloke, and set the scene actually for what we've done since, which is young managers coming through, and
Yeah.
obviously he was famously in charge when we played Manchester United, which was the thing that saved us as a club. But we'd been in the conference for a while by this point, and we'd gone down, and it was pretty bleak in that we had no money. And
Yeah, I mean, that's something I was there for,
yeah,
the relegation.
the relegation. So I'm gonna with a bit of artistic license, I'm gonna suggest that there were bookends, which were when everyone who didn't really care turned out. Number one, the relegation from League Two. Number two, the 30,000 at Wembley.
Sure.
I think those are the bookends.
At least I was only one of those bookends.
Well, obviously there's a whole 22,000 extra other people who came to the second. So anyway, we get in. We don't have any money, so we get a manager in, who you may now have heard of, called Paul Tisdale. And
Yep.
I remember the jokes at the time. Everyone was just like, because he'd come from this Team Bath, which had started as
I remember them well.
the Bath University Football Club.
And this kind of nickname, I want to call it, carried on almost for the entire, what was it, getting on for 12 years he was there.
Yeah.
It was very prevalent at the beginning, wasn't it, that people would call him a PE teacher.
PE teacher, that's right. But
you'd even hear it every now and then, like towards the very end, even after over a decade of being the manager. I
know, and do you know what? I've been looking for this all day on the internet, in between doing other stuff. I can't find any actual reference to him being a PE teacher. I don't think he was a PE teacher. I don't think he trained as a teacher.
He wasn't a PE teacher.
No. So was it just that he looked like a PE teacher?
No, it's just that he was managing a university team.
Okay,
so
fine. That's what I assumed.
At school or whatever, it's the PE teacher who manages the team. But no, like he wasn't a PE teacher.
No, of course our Team Bath. There's a continuum there, which is that Matt Taylor was also at Team Bath. First as a goalkeeper, then as a centre-back. He came with us. He came with Tisdale to City.
Yeah.
Or rather, he came a bit later on, but Tisdale had known him at Team Bath.
That's right, yeah.
So our connections continue, although I think probably Matt Taylor's the last one. Tisdale comes in, and the season starts fairly brightly. So this team's actually this league's quite full of some fairly significant clubs. So Oxford United have just been relegated from League Two, obviously now a really big club. York City are still there. Forest Green are kind of up and coming. Stockport County are still there, as well as some absolute nothings. Apologies to these teams. Grays Athletic, Ebbsfleet United, and Weymouth. More of them in a minute. So City's season starts pretty well. First, we didn't lose till the fourth game. We'd only lost 2 by mid-October. But there was a kind of Tisdale-esque slump, you'll be surprised to hear. So October, November, we only won 1 game. So obviously people are starting to get edgy around all this stuff. Is it going to be another season like this? And from conference, this is national conference, only 1 team goes up automatically. So it's going to be top 1,
right, yeah.
And then 4 play for playoffs. And as we still do now, you look around these other teams and you think, well, they look quite strong. Cambridge United, another one. There's also some teams that are no longer with us. Aldershot, Stockport have gone, haven't they? Teams that you'd never hear of anymore. Northwich, Victoria, Altrincham.
Stockport are gone, are they?
I think Stockport are gone. Although do you know what? I'm wrong. But they just really dropped down the leagues, didn't they? Rushton and Diamonds, I think they're gone. Burton Albion are in there, though, interestingly. So we're trundling on through this. St Albans City. You can look at these names and kind of crack up and wonder about it all. Seems like a million years ago now. But we have a really good run. So we lose on the 2nd of April, so kind of equivalent time now. I think it was Easter Monday. And then we don't lose again. And in fact, we only draw 1 all the way through to the end of May.
So how close are we to getting that automatic place?
Well, we're actually some way off. So we only come 5th. Okay. So Dagenham absolutely smash it. They top with 95 points. And then Oxford are second on 81, joint with Morecambe. York get 80 and we're down on 78. And then Burton are right behind us on 75. So it's only because of our good run of form we even sneak into these playoffs. And I remember very clearly, I was working at Exeter College at the time teaching, and I had a class full of all these lads, like men now, but who were at Mad City. And we were all like, we haven't got a chance against Oxford, no chance at all. You know, it's hopeless. They're the team with all the money. They should have gone up automatically. We've got no chance.
Yeah.
And Oxford had only conceded 33 goals in 46 games, which is
Wow.
it's the best by miles. Yeah, it was incredible, isn't it? And then
Yeah.
they come to St James Park, 4th of May, and May the 4th be with you, etc. And, well, it wasn't with us because Oxford won 1-0 away. And I'm thinking, that's it. And loads of my mates went up to, well, some of them were in bands and having girlfriends down, but loads of them went up to the Cassam. It was a Tuesday night, I think. And I couldn't even leave work in time to get there. We were all texting, this is pre Facebook, isn't it? This is pre WhatsApp. Listeners,
I mean, also, at this point, you're in a band and I've got a girlfriend as well. So
I think I'm married by this point even.
Are you really?
No. My wife's looking at me and saying we're not married at this point. I think we were nearly married. But I remember that everyone went off to the Cassam, and it's high drama, and we managed to win 2-1, which means extra time and penalties. And I'm listening, and my wife's girlfriend at the time is like, turn it off kind of thing. And the radio, it was, there's no Grecian player, there's no nothing, kept cutting out like mad. And we get to the penalties, and we're not, we're in the penalties, but it's not going well. And then we score, and they miss. And I'm like, well, we could do it. And then the radio goes. And of course, in the radio silence, like used to happen, everyone's texting from the Cassam, and it's going nowhere. All these messages won't leave anyone's phone or come to my phone.
Yeah.
Anyway, it turned out, of course, Logan scored the winning penalty. And I think I've remembered this right. There's no record of this anywhere at all. I can't find it. But I think if I've remembered it right, Logan scores the winning penalty. And I'm just going absolutely spare in my future in-laws' living room, I think. We're going to Wembley. It's all happening. And Morecambe had won the night before. And Morecambe had this absolute, like they still are, this minuscule team. They get like 1,000 to their home matches. And we're all rubbing our hands with absolute glee. Can't believe we've done it. We've played the hardest match. So that's the scene.
That's the scene set.
That's the scene.
Yeah, so... Yeah, they're a small... I mean, they're smaller than they are now, and obviously they're still... every year you think, like, oh, Morecambe sort of clinging on again.
Yeah.
It's like, sort of, mainly everyone sort of, I think, sort of credits it to Kevin Ellison, and, I'm not sure how much he even plays these days, but, they're small now. They were tiny then.
Yeah, I mean, they're the shrimpers in every sense of the word, aren't they? And
Yeah.
But the one
I
thing
hate to be called the Shrimps.
I know. But they're one
I'm so
thing.
glad we got a cool nickname.
I know that no one understands. And it just makes it so much more mysterious, doesn't it?
Exactly.
That's why we both had girlfriends, even in the playoff finals. So
Well, because we were mysterious.
because we supported a mysterious football team, I'm assuming.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. May well be.
So that's that. So the only thing they kind of I remember them having going for them was Sammy McIlroy's their manager.
Oh yeah.
Manchester United, and I think he'd scored at Wembley, so everyone was kind of talking this up. Now, I mean, who knows? I can't remember any of the details now. But there's a thing that you need to remember about this season that is not written in the history books at all, but is really interesting. Weymouth Town were in the conference. Now, Weymouth Town have got absolutely no right to be anywhere near national football. What are they? They're the equivalent to Barnstable or something. It's a small town.
Yeah,
and
you'd know someone who played for the team if you lived there.
Exactly right. Exactly right. And in fact, my mum went to college in Weymouth, like training college, and she played hockey for Dorset, and she just turned up from Cornwall, like the year before. So that's the kind of, it's a county without a city. The Bournemouth's there and takes anything that's any good. Weymouth's just nothing. But Weymouth were in the conference.
I've been there. It is nothing.
But do you remember this, Dan? January transfer window, 2007, and Weymouth put their entire squad up for sale because they had completely overspent and they'd made an absolute mess of the whole thing. Do you remember this?
Yes, I do, yeah.
And so, of course, we're just down the road. We absolutely capitalise on it. We buy Lee Elam and we buy Richard Logan.
Yeah.
And we're kind of, as you've seen, we only just snuck into the playoffs. So until that point, we're just kind of trundling along. Now, Elam played 12 games for us and he scored 5 goals. And really, that's the difference. That's how we went up. And of course, then straight away, Logan stayed, of course, but Elam went straight off somewhere else instantly. He played those 12 games for us, and that was it. So we got this.
Well, not according to Wikipedia. Apparently, he played 40 games for us.
Lee Elam did.
Yeah.
Or maybe played a second season then. Okay, maybe I'm remembering it a bit wrong. But he came out of nowhere, in a sense, and so we had this massive.
Yeah, do you know what?
boost.
He's someone I'd completely forgotten about. Like I said, I wasn't going a huge amount of that at this point, but I mean, I knew who our players were.
Yeah.
I wasn't like complete that, and he's someone I just really completely forgot about.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Until I looked this up, to be honest, and I was like, yeah, there's a couple others in there, but yeah, he's one of the ones. And I remember, that we bought. He was one of the. He came in with Logan, didn't he? And,
came in with Logan. It was just like, I remember it being a mad thing. Weymouth was selling all their players, and I remember saying to someone, "Oh, maybe we'll do well out of this." I didn't know anything about Weymouth. Didn't think, "Oh, they've got great. We'll get whoever." I just thought maybe we're just down the road, and that's how it came to pass. Now, until then, our strikers, although it sounds good now, were Stansfield and Mackie. But Mackie was pretty inconsistent at that point. So
I remember that. Yeah, I remember kind of being quite surprised that he went on to be the player that he was actually.
Yeah.
Because he wasn't terrible for us, but I still remember thinking it was that he really took off after he left.
He did. Well, he went to Argyle, didn't he? And that's where it all happened.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of extra backstory. Now Tisdale's just, some people really didn't like him immediately because PE teacher, cause he's a bit odd. Some people loved him. Loads of people were like, well, let's see what he can do. Now, of course, we hadn't got to the playoffs at this point, so that's already progress after years in the wilderness.
Yeah.
We're going to Wembley. This is the second ever game played at the new Wembley. The day before we get there, it's been the FA Cup final, and that was the first game.
Of course, yeah, brand new.
Brand new. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why we took 30,000.
Yeah, it would have been. Wouldn't it?
I got no recollection of any of it, of the
30,000 people up there to see that.
Yeah, funny, innit? So for reasons best known to myself, I didn't go from Exeter to London. I had two really good mates that I'd watched a lot of football with, and we'd gone to quite a lot of conference games, and they were living up country, like Midlands. So I went to the Midlands, and then we caught the train across, and honestly, we didn't see a single person until we get to Wembley. So we'd done this real kind of backdoor thing and came in like via, and then suddenly you're like, oh, everyone's here, and suddenly it's everyone, like everyone we've ever known is in London.
Yeah.
Like everyone.
Well, it is like that, isn't it? I mean, the other times we've been, it's like you look around and like, in a way, it's strange that there's so many people there that you don't recognise. Do you know what I mean? It's just like,
yeah.
But you just see people and like just people you recognise, and not just from the football. Even obviously, the people go from Exeter, but it's just it's an obvious thing to say, isn't it? Really, but it is strange. But
yeah, so strange. So we were sat way, way, way up, like as high as you can go almost, because obviously we'd sold all these tickets. So in the recent years, we're down low, aren't we? They don't even open up the top ones. But this year, I was in the absolute gods, as high up as you could go. And so the game starts, and I'm really testing my memory here, and I've tried to read about it, but there's not much I can remember, But I'll try and remember a certain few bits. So.
You haven't got the DVD, have you? You thought you had, but you haven't.
I don't know if there is a DVD, because of course we lost the thing, didn't we?
Of course. So, well, surely Moore can put one out.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I should have Googled that. I mean,
the other thing is, there's no highlights for this.
There's no highlights.
Online.
No, there's the winning goal, and that's it.
Yeah.
So everything's
all shot on a camera phone, which looks like it's very much of the time.
Yeah.
It's like sort of very pixelated, and I.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. So
But thanks, whoever uploaded that.
Oh yeah, it's helpful. What I do remember is this: John Challoner was playing, and I think it was. I've read the stuff, and I think this is right. It was kind of a quick free kick early on. This is like first 10 minutes, and he puts in a cross to Lee Phillips. So good old Lee Phillips of Kernow, who knew loads of people that I knew, Cornish lads. Scored this header 8 minutes in. And everyone's like, okay, fine. We've got, and we're looking at the other end, and there's no one there. We're 30,000. It's exactly like we felt against Coventry the other day. we're looking
Yeah,
at
a
the
bit
other
like
end.
how Blackpool felt against
Yeah,
us.
yeah, yeah, exactly that. So we're like, we're laughing. We've got all these people. Fine. So the first half, I remember it being really boring, but they managed to get an equaliser just before half time,
Yeah,
and then we come out second half, and Tisdale goes for it in a way that you'd never remember. Oh, but before that, Lee Phillips goes off injured. Stano comes on before half
yeah.
time.
Stano comes on. Yeah,
Yeah,
half. Yeah,
and I remember thinking, oh, that's fine. That's it. Maybe this is hindsight, but you look at it now and you think, well, thank goodness we bought those extra strikers. Um, and then it's all kind of trundling along, and then this Lee Phillips has gone off injured, and then they equalise just for half time. But we go for it second half, really going for it. Logan comes on, Mackie comes on. This is just from what I'm reading. They came on with more than half an hour to go, and I just remember thinking, this is just going to extra time. This is just going to penalties. And then the highlight that you can see is exactly like I remember it. It's just they absolutely hoof it. We're attacking, and it's just a massive clearance. And suddenly, this really quick Morecambe player is up against Rob Edwards, and you think, and I think probably it's Chris Todd as well, who was never the sprightliest. And you think,
yeah.
here we go. And then this fella from Morecambe scores an absolute screamer. And the thing I was most annoyed about was Sammy McElroy runs on the pitch. Everyone was so cross about it. He runs on the pitch and does his absolute knee slide. And then before that, I think Paul Jones is in goal and he saves a penalty. And
Yes.
I really remember there'd been a massive rumour that Ashley Bayes was coming back, and having an argument with someone and saying, like, what we doing going back to the past? We've got Paul Jones. He's fine. And of course he was
Well,
great.
that's ironic, isn't it, in a way as well?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what Bayes come back from Torquay?
What he'd done, I think he'd done double, hadn't he? I think we got him from Torquay, then he went back to Torquay,
Yeah,
and then we were going to get him back again. That was the talk, and it didn't happen. But Jones saved this penalty, and I was like, yeah, it's all going to be proved right. And then of course, no, with a couple of minutes to go, I think it was 5 minutes left or something, 10 minutes left maybe. Morecambe score, and then it's all just chaos. And Matt Gill, who was one of my favourite players, and obviously stayed with us all the way through to League One,
yeah.
gets sent
Big
off.
favourite of mine
Gets
as
sent
well.
off for headbutting
For a
someone.
headbutt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which I didn't see, but I remember it being a thing. And that was that, of course, chaos. And the referee of the day was Michael Oliver, who's of course now,
Yeah, I'd seen that. He must have been about 5 when he was doing this.
yeah, really young.
Because he's only about 13 now, isn't he?
Yeah, goodness knows how young he was. But yeah, this is a conference
They
final,
got that
wasn't
one
it?
right.
Yeah, they did. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
people
I
love it
suppose you
now.
work your way up.
Yeah, so that was it.
So that must have been the atmosphere then must have been just that must have been I mean, what was it like? It must
Well,
have been
no,
just
to be honest with you,
strange,
the
wasn't it?
atmosphere was rubbish anyway, because and for months afterwards, and you'll still hear these conversations now. People still talk about having like cheering sections. You ever hear this?
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
it
And
all
I
goes
mean
back to that.
there's been talk about this every time we've been since as well,
Yeah,
hasn't there? Been
yeah, yeah,
like the singing section and
yeah, yeah.
where people should and shouldn't go
Well,
and
we were with
whatnot.
some
But I
lads.
mean, the other thing is that just the atmosphere at Wembley is terrible.
Yeah,
Like,
this
all
was
right,
better.
maybe if it's completely full, maybe it's okay. But then they don't help themselves, do they? With the, I mean, I'm sure they didn't have it at this point, but with the stupid pyro, and then they put that Pirates of the Caribbean theme tune on, or whatever it is, and it's just like, you know.
Yeah, I know.
And then
So
you got all the kind of gorpers there as well. So how are you ever supposed to have a good atmosphere?
well, the Gorpers were a real problem for everyone. So they kept telling people to sit down, and I can really remember
Yeah,
this. So some Cully lads were near us, and they were really trying to go for it. And then someone called a steward over to kind of get them sorted out. And you're like, it's just a disaster, and it felt terrible. And
yeah.
it had already felt bad, and there were people that you knew hadn't been around for any of the troubles.
Imagine being that. Imagine being one of those people that
I know.
you turn up something like that and having no self-awareness to not realize, oh, maybe it's me that's that's out the one that's out a fish out of water here, and I shouldn't be complaining and saying, "Oh, get them to sit down." You're like, no, you're not supposed to be sat down.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Do you know what I mean? Like, I
yeah.
mean, what you are, but like that's,
I
I don't
know,
know.
I know.
I've always found it frustrating that, and like, it's the thing. Football's just not supposed to be like that, if you ask me. But like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's right.
It's all
And
a bit
so
bad.
it was already bad, to be honest. And it was hard to say because we were so far away, but everyone said it was the same wherever they were. And then it was made worse by sit down, please, can't see, etc.
Yeah,
Um, and then as bad as it gets, really. 10 minutes to go, and then you got that really awkward bit because I don't think we'd been playing for the draw, but we definitely hadn't been playing in a risky way. Um, and suddenly you're like, we can't turn this on. Like we've got 10 minutes left. We don't know how to turn this on now. Um, and that
very
was,
familiar.
and I'm sure that Stansfield's reputation, loads of it goes back to this, where he'd been obviously really good, consistent player, but I just really remember him running and running and running in those last few minutes. And
Right.
you know when everyone says, "Oh, what an honest player he was," and what a
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I couldn't say for sure. You can't
Well,
pinpoint it, can you?
people,
But
yeah,
that was
and
a big
people
part
love
of it.
someone running, don't they?
Yeah, yeah, and it was like getting the ball back,
Yeah, yeah.
all that kind of stuff that actually you just need. So yeah, that was. I remember him thinking he can't do this on his own, and he didn't, and that was that. So it was a real. I don't know. In a sense, I don't think anyone expected that much with Tisdale with that season, and then we had an excellent April, and I'm sure that the Weymouth players coming in was a massive boost to us. But I
Yeah,
guess it gave them the belief. Now Tisdale's quote is classic.
and also after the Oxford, after Oxford, that was when it felt like,
Yeah,
that was when it was like, I would surely now. And then even after, you know, 5 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever it is, when it's 1-0, it's like, okay, this is all going to, you know,
yeah,
it's like this doesn't happen. It's all going swimmingly, you know.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. That's right. And yeah, it just fell apart really. And it's interesting because you look at that squad or that team certainly, and it's a real mix of the two halves. What then went on to be something brilliant.
Yeah,
Tully, Taylor, Gill, Paul Jones, Stansfield,
Rob Edwards and Logan
Rob
and
Edwards, and Logan, and then you got
yeah,
like your Wayne Carl. I really like these players, but Billy Jones, Wayne Carlisle, Challoner, they were from the old era really. So I think it was a turning
yeah.
point, and I
John
guess
Richardson on the bench. That's him. That's when he's come back, isn't it? Yeah,
I
yeah, of
guess
course it
so.
is. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And Paul
So
Buckle
and then
was still
that
around.
never
Yeah.
really worked. Paul Buckle, yeah, of course.
So and I think we were still thinking at the time, just get them. So even that Ashley Bayes conversation was like, just get them, just get the old boys back. It'll be all right. And you're like, well, it wasn't all right when they were back. League Two hadn't been any
Yeah,
good. We clung on to League Two for a really long time. Then we went down, and that was worse. Actually, I think
I mean,
Tisdale.
Bayes was never that good, was he?
I don't remember him being good. I
I mean, the main thing I remember of Ashley Bayes is like, people. I mean, Pim used to get this a bit, and obviously he's proven himself to be like, really good keeper. But this kind of spooning the goal kicks off the
yeah,
side.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ashley Bayes, it felt like if you'd watch him do 180 of them would go out for a throw. Like it was comedy.
I think that's right. So it was. I I'd love to one day ask him the question, but I think probably he must have realised these are the things I need to do now. And of course, the changes he made that summer meant that we were flying from then on. To
Of course.
to get to two Wembley finals in a row, and then go automatically up the following year.
Yeah,
I
it
think
is interesting in it to see the players that stuck around, and then how that was built on, and then what happened the season after. Like
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that was that, and then I remember leaving,
yeah,
and we went back on a train that no one else was on because everyone else was going southwest, and we were going to the Midlands, and I think we left before the trophy presentation and all that stuff, and thinking, it's Farsley
yeah,
Celtic again next year or whatever. But as we'll discuss in our next episode, it was quite the different experience.
Yeah, of course. So
So,
that's the day.
yeah,
Yeah. There's a lot of, I mean, it's an important time, and it's like a real kind of turning point kind of moment. Obviously, it's Tisdale's first season. There's that whole thing of his kind of era
yeah,
beginning. Although at the time we didn't obviously know it was gonna last that long, and also have as many highs and lows as it was going to. Like,
yeah, yeah,
and also some real the sort of beginnings of some other real stories for some of those players as well.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm talking about Rob Edwards and, like, obviously been there for a bit, but Richard Logan, someone who went on to be a cult hero, wasn't he?
He was, yeah, yeah. I think
If you're wondering what Richard Logan's up to now,
I am wondering.
I can't tell you.
Oh,
What I can tell you is 5 years ago, which is the last time he uploaded, he was trying to sort of make it as a YouTuber called JC's Crazy Dad,
okay.
um,
I'm going
which
to need
is
more
basically
details.
it's just it's just Logan in his living room on a kind of obviously technology moves quick, so you can tell it's like a few years ago from the kind of aspect ratio it's filmed in.
Yeah.
It's not optimized for YouTube.
Okay.
Um, it's just sort of him doing sort of dances and stuff um, in front of the camera on his own. They're sort of about 15 seconds long, not very good,
Wow.
really weird, and it's sort of slightly worrying. But that, again, like I said, that was 5 years ago. I have no idea. It obviously didn't work. I mean, it didn't take off in the kind of Logan Paul kind of way or anything. So,
Keep trying,
but yeah,
Richard.
but if you're interested to just Google that, or search for JC's Crazy Dad, and you'll see
Okay. How are you
your old
spelling?
mate Logie.
Is it JC Z?
I think it's JC, as in JACEY.
Okay. Look it out, listeners.
Yeah,
Um.
yeah, have a look.
Yeah. I'd be
He's
interested to
not the
know.
worst dancer in the world, but it's not like, you know,
Okay. Oh well. Good luck to him.
yeah.
We've had some correspondence, and maybe you'd like to also tell us about your playoff final experience that year. Were you one of the people that had to stay behind in Exeter and keep the water running or whatever? But also, I'd want to know, is there stuff I've missed? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's stuff I've forgotten. What was Tisdale wearing? I can't even see any photos. There is reference to how McElroy's wearing a sober suit, so I guess that means Tisdale wasn't. But I don't remember it being like white or something. Maybe it was
A
white.
what now? A
Sober,
sober suit.
as in like the choice of suit was a sober one. Like in
Oh, I
grey
see.
or
Okay,
black. So
right.
the following year, of course, he was
But it
in.
says here on the BBC article that Paul Tisdale was wearing a cravat.
There you go then.
This is the cravat era.
A good
Really
era.
straight in there with the cravat. I mean,
Yeah.
my memories.
No, he's straight in. And then the following year, I
So
think.
when did the pork pie hat turn up, or the whatever it was, a trilby or
Soon after.
fedora?
Soon after. Soon
Right.
after. And then I think the following playoff year, and I look forward to watching the highlights and working this out for sure. I think he was in an all-white suit, or certainly a cream suit.
Yeah.
But I may be misremembering. But yeah,
Straw boater on the bench.
if you've got
Even
better,
he doesn't have the balls to wear that in front of the thousands that were there.
shame. That was his
Um,
opportunity.
yeah, I mean, there's that recent interview with Paul Tisdale on that EFL podcast where he talks about his style and his kind of sartorial choices, which is, it, if you think you know what he's like, it just reinforces that.
I still haven't. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
fully embrace this and really get on board with this interview because I haven't stuck
Oh,
into it yet.
you got to
Okay.
listen to it. It's only the first half. I don't know if the second half's out yet, but it says a lot about kind of this Ted Baker jacket he's got, which costs like 800 quid or something,
Oh,
and
Paul.
like these Japanese cords and brogues. It's brilliant. It's
Okay.
amazing.
All right.
Yeah. If you're asking, I know you were, but one of my favourite Tisdale outfits
Yes.
was actually when he came back as the MK Dons manager. I had this amazing kind of like Parker jacket on with the fur around the hood and a beanie, and I just thought he looked great.
Okay. What's your least
All
favourite
right,
Tisdale outfit?
just when he doesn't go. Don't know. I was about to say well, when he sort of doesn't go far enough with it, but I think probably I can kind of remember him wearing these kind of salmon pink trousers, and I think maybe that
Step too
is
far.
a bridge too far for me. Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
but yeah, I mean, I could talk about this
Maybe we should do a
for age.
specific. We've been asked, haven't we? Maybe we should do a specific Tisdale podcast. Maybe that's next.
I would love to.
Okay.
I
So
would. I would love to. Let's not do that next, but let's do that at some
so
point.
maybe we'll work our way through the promotions. I think that might be good. So next
I
time,
realise we're probably going to turn some people off by doing an episode entirely devoted to
I think they
support
know
this
that we'll
deal.
have some absolute golden things to say. So
Yeah, we'll be objective like we always are.
yeah, we are
Are we
objective.
objective? Okay.
Well, in the
I think
realms of
we are
like,
on
we
the
still
whole.
think Exeter City are the best football club that's ever existed.
Yeah, but other than that, I
Other
think
than that, we're pretty
fair.
objective. Yeah, I think we are.
Yeah.
So that's that. Someone else points out that they also saw Ryan Harley in Sybil Street Fish and Chip Shop, Dan, like you did. So you must really love that chip shop.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Did you see
Yeah.
that?
Well, it's right by the ground, isn't it? So it's the kind of. I mean, the Canton Fish Bar would have actually been closer.
I loved
Um,
that place.
it's no longer with us. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Um, yeah,
But
that guy. Yeah, shame. I loved that place. He did a good pea fritter, Canton.
is that right? Yeah,
Yeah,
we used to live just along the road from it, didn't we?
we did. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Good times.
Um, okay, cool. Harley, maybe he had a T-shirt.
Maybe. Well, let us know about our inaccuracies, as always, please. Let us know what your memories of that day were. I'd be interested to know, because, this is a big deal. This was the new Wembley. This was, first kind of sniff of promotion in a really long time. Did you come a really long way? Were you one of the people that told me to sit down? I'd like to know.
Ha.
Um, maybe you could tell me why. And
Did anyone come away from the new Wembley, brand new Wembley, thinking anything other than this sucks? Like, that's
yeah,
something I'd like to know.
I,
Was
re-
anyone impressed?
I
Did
remember
anyone
saying.
think this is great?
I tell you what, I'd only ever been to the old Wembley once, and it was to see England in Euro '96. And my mum and dad took me. I was 12 or 13 or something, and we were sat right at the back, and we could not see a thing. Couldn't see a thing. So I remember telling my mum after this game, "Oh, you can see everything," which is true. So I think that's the one thing you can say for it. You can see the whole pitch.
Right. Yeah.
But apart from that, not a lot.
They play the Pirates of the Caribbean at half time.
My mum said, "What's that?" I only like Crossroads. Anyway, Mum, thanks for listening.
They should get one of those sausage trains that they've got at St. Pauli. Is it St. Pauli they've got that?
What's a sausage train?
They've got like for the executive box. It's like a little like model train comes along with a load of sausages on it.
Yeah, I mean, that seems a bit excessive.
I don't know.
All right. Get a sausage train that just goes around Wembley.
Or we could get one at St James's Park.
We could. Although, there's quite a lot of gaps, aren't there? You'd lose the train down the ravine, where, ironically, a real train goes.
Well, maybe we could update it to a sort of sausage drone. It's
Yeah.
the future, I'm telling you. Drones are going to come at halftime or during the match. Drones are going to come around the big bank and drop off food to you.
People are going to lose a lot of limbs that way, or certainly fingers.
It's coming.
Well, enough about sausage drones. Enough droning about sausages. This has been the Big Bank Theory podcast. You can get in touch with us.
In a way.
Well, in a way. We're doing our best, listeners.
Yeah.
Hope you're all right out there. It's funny old times, isn't it? But, I hope you've enjoyed listening to this. You can get in touch with us in the normal ways. bigbankpod@gmail.com. We're at Big Bank Pod on Twitter, and we're the Big Bank Theory podcast on Facebook. Leave us a review if you'd like to in all the normal places. We really appreciate it. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Yeah, cheers.
See you soon.